Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. May I take your order? Moving right along in topic 1, today we're going to be looking over dividing fractions. And we're going to look at both using models, right, pictures, as well as the equation, the algorithm, to divide fractions here. So, a couple of reminders to highlight in your notes. A reminder, that division is simply repeated subtraction. It's kind of the opposite of multiplication, which is repeated addition. So if you take a number and you subtract the same amount over and over and over, you're essentially dividing. A division can also be described as how many groups can you make, right? So just a couple of reminders for us. All right. Let's see here. Let's shift this over this way. For the next two examples, we're going to be looking at splitting 3 wholes. We're going to make groups of 3/4 out of that. So let's say that you have $3 and a bag of chips is 75 cents, 3/4 of a dollar. You want to know how many bags of chips you can buy. Okay? So one way we can do this is with repeated subtraction. Okay, so you'll notice here, because we are taking away fourths, that's where this step comes in, that we're making 3 a fraction with a denominator of 4. So we start with 12/4. Right, 12/4 is equal to 3 wholes. And you just keep taking away 3/4 over and over and over. And how many times can you do that? Well, we did it 1 time. We did it 2 times. We did it 3 times. We did it 4 times. So there are 4 groups of 3/4 in 3 wholes. That's one strategy. You could also do it on a number line. Right? Here is 3 wholes. Right? You'll notice here, right? These red lines that I'm making, those mark off our wholes. Right? We've got 1 whole, 2 whole, 3 wholes. And then we're counting off 3/4. So out of each whole, we're counting 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Right? And I made 1, 2, 3, 4 groups again. Okay? Both of those are appropriate strategies. Another way is to draw a picture. Right? I'm kind of using sort of an area type model. So I've drawn, in this one we're looking at a half divided by 3. So I've got half of a sandwich left over. Right? This is a ham and Swiss, hot ham and Swiss. It's on light rye bread, side of chips, some pickles. I ate half of it already. I've got half left, and I decided that I'm going to share it with me, Mr. T, and Mr. Sandor. So there's 3 people going to be eating this. So here in the second step, right, I take this half sandwich, right, and I'm going to divide it into 3 parts, right? This would be my part, this would be T's part, this would be Sandor's part. Let's try that again without the technical difficulties. There we go. What's important to notice here, though, is that these division lines are extending across what would have been the whole sandwich. So instead of just having 3 sections here, I have 6 sections total. There we go. Maybe if I stop dragging the pen. So how much does Mr. Sandor get to eat? He would get 1 section out of 6. If you'd like to draw models, that is perfectly okay. For the rest of this lesson, we are going to focus on the algorithm, and the algorithm has 3 simple steps. Keep, switch, flip. Right? To divide fractions, you will not actually divide. Instead, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Right? You might add this vocabulary word to this page, a reciprocal. Reciprocal. 2 numbers whose product equals 1. So, for example, 1/2 times 2 over 1 is equal to 2 over 2 is equal to 1 whole. Right? What you'll notice here is that basically anytime you want to talk about a reciprocal, we're talking about flipping the number upside down. We're talking about flipping the number upside down. Right? Keep the first number the same. We'll switch the symbol to multiplication. We'll flip the second number. Here are some examples. Okay? Here in the first one, we've got 1/2 divided by 4. We have kept 1/2 the same. We switched to multiplication. We flipped 4 upside down. So 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 4 is 8. Whole number divided by a fraction. 4 over 1 divided by 1/2. We've kept 4 the same. We switched to multiplication. We have flipped upside down. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. 8 over 1 is 8 wholes. Fraction divided by a fraction. 3/4 divided by 1/6. We've kept the first number the same. We have switched to multiplication. We have flipped the second number upside down. 3 times 6 is 18. 4 times 1 is 4. Simplified to 4 2/4. Simplified to 4 1/2. Right? It is always keep the first number, switch the symbol, flip the second number. Okay? There are 4 examples here. I'm going to do one, and then I'm going to invite you guys to do the rest of them. So I'll do number 1. Right? So we have 10 over 1. We're going to keep that. We're going to switch their symbol. We're going to flip the second number. Excuse me. So 10 times 5 is 50. 1 times 3 is 3. How many 3's are in 50? Maybe you do margin math, maybe you don't. I know that that's 16. 16 times 3 is 48, and I have 2/3 left over. Pause the screen and try the other 3. You'll notice on some of these that I have cross-canceled, right, where appropriate. But on all of them, I used the exact same strategy. Keep the first number, switch the symbol, flip the second number upside down. Your next steps would be to log into the online textbook. There are actually 2, this is important, there are 2 practice buddies, two practice and problem solvings here that you need to complete. And so you need to be able to check both of these off to be done with this section 1.4 and 1.5. See me with questions, and have a great day.